used to do that just to come early.
How is Teresa? I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks.
She's good. I see her at Five Crowns. I used to do
Okay.
that just to come early.
She's just coming later in the day.
They got they have a
How is
great,
Teresa?
I'm sorry, I was talking. They have a great, so much fun at that game.
Nice. Nice.
Laugh. I'm gonna.
Well, it is 8:45, so we're gonna get started. Betty has to leave
Yep.
at 9:45, so we're gonna go ahead and get talking. I'm assuming other people will wander in as they wake up and have their coffee. What you trying to do, Terry?
Put us into gallery.
Oh, okay.
I got it. It kind of slips away. I don't know. The
Um,
screen faster than most of the.
so what I wanted to talk about first is our wearables. So Terry looks like she's not wearing a watch. Sue Ellen, what do you wear?
I wear an iWatch.
iWatch. And
Well,
Betty uses a
my
Fitbit.
my iWatch saved my life.
Wow. Okay, how did that happen?
It showed it, I was in atrial fib. And I didn't know it because it was when I was asleep.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I was in a study for atrial fib, by Johnson and Johnson and Apple. And, it was to see whether or not anybody over the age of 65, if they could tell when somebody was going to go into it. Well, I did. And, I had an ablation. Well, first I had a loop recorder put in because I couldn't catch it and the doctors they wouldn't do anything on the watches, say so.
Right.
So I've had a loop recorder that put in the next month. It showed I had atrial fib. The next 2 months later, I had an ablation, and then I was on Eliquis. I didn't like that, so they put in a Watchman.
They put
Both-
what? They did
A
what?
Watchman. A Watchman goes into your atrial appendage, and that's where the clots form, and that's why you have to go on the blood thinners. Well, now I just take an 81 milligram aspirin, so it's great. I suggest it for everybody. It's wonderful. So yeah, and both of my grandparents died of strokes.
Wow.
So, I think that speaks loudly.
It does. So, how did your watch tell you?
It knows when I go in.
No, but I mean, how did it tell you?
Oh,
I
it tells me I have it's a health app on my watch, and it tells me how I breathe, it tells me how I walk, it tells me how my heart rate is, it tells me whether or not my gait is steady, it tells me all kinds of stuff. It's weird.
But how does it let you know?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to.
It signals it. It tells you. You
Like
went into atrial fib.
Okay, so let me just break it down. You're sound asleep. Does it do an alarm? Does it jiggle?
No.
Jiggle you?
Next day I heard it. Next day I saw it on my watch.
Okay. So when you woke up,
Yeah, it
you
said
looked
I
at your
went
watch.
and
And
it said you went into atrial fib, and this is when you did, and this is how long it was, and it's weird.
So,
it's-
and did you get all of that information from your little screen, or did you go to your phone and look at your app and it
I
gave you?
went to my phone and looked at my app.
What's it
has
show
more-
on your screen
The
on
phone,
your watch?
the watch says, that you did, and then
Okay.
you go into that and you get more information from that.
Okay. And
Well,
which,
it's like my hearing aid said, I need service. My hearing aid said, I need service.
It auditorily said to you, I need
Yes.
service.
Yes,
That's creepy.
look, that's the world we live in.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, we had back when I was a kid and watching things like, you know, the Jetsons, for instance, you know, and My Favorite Martian and Lost in Space, all of those things are like, wow, that and more, you know, and we were kind of like hoping, oh, you know, we still don't quite have the flying cars that we had all hoped for,
How about the
but
detective that talked to
these
his
other
shoe?
things.
Remember the detective that
Get
talked to his
smart.
Get
Get
smart.
Like, we thought that was like so unreal. That could happen. And-
Well, Dick Tracy talked to his watch.
Oh, right.
That's right. That's right.
This is my Dick Tracy watch.
So welcome everybody. This morning we started talking with Sue Ellen about her experience with her watch, and she led with the line, "My Apple Watch saved my life." And I'll shorten the story to catch everybody up real quick. Basically, she wears her watch to sleep, and it gives her all kinds of data, and it told her she went into AFib. So she went on her phone in the morning and looked at all the details and then contacted her doctor. And you know, great story. If you have an opportunity to talk to her about it personally, great story. Without that, she would not have gotten the care that she needed. And here she is today. So that's pretty amazing. One of the things that I learned as I was looking into wearables for this class is that piece about how well it monitors your heart. Now, I have a Garmin watch, and it's a shortened version. I have another Garmin watch that's much bigger, much chunkier, and does a lot more stuff, but I don't wear it because it's big and chunky. And it's awkward, and it's a hand-me-down. So it's not something that I'm going to wear unless I need a week long of monitoring without taking it off. That's why I have it, is because this battery doesn't last a week. So those are some considerations when you're looking at any kind of wearables. And then Sue Ellen brought in the fact that her hearing aid talks to her. It tells her when it needs service. So how wonderful and amazing is that? Because how would you know? It in old versions, you know, first thing you do is you change the battery and hope that things got better. But now it's going to tell you, hey, I need this. And so then she can go take care of it so she can continue to hear, which is the whole point, right? Having something that's not working isn't very useful. So I love that story. Thank you for all of that. Betty said she has a Fitbit. And with your Fitbit, what kind of information do you follow?
For a long time, I was following the steps because I wanted to make sure I did 4,000 a day at least. And then with this hip problem, I do 2,000 or less because it hurts to walk. But anyway, it monitors my sleep, tells me if I got a good sleep score or not. And most of the time I go to the app on the phone to read it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because it's a little bigger and easier to read, but
yeah. How many people have Apple Watches that they talk to as their phone? You get a phone call and you answer your Apple Watch. Sue Ellen, Linda, anybody else?
Sometimes.
Yes, and no. Why no?
I don't
Linda.
hear as well on it as I hear on the telephone, or at least I imagine that I don't, or I imagine that the people that I'm talking to don't hear me, but they do. So it's really me. I like to be on the phone. If my watch rings and I'm not near my phone, I answer it, but I run to get my phone.
Yeah. Do you use hearing aids?
Yes, but I don't plug them in electronically.
Meaning you don't connect them to your
No,
other devices?
I used to, and it was just not worth it, and I don't do it anymore.
Okay, can you talk a little bit more about that? What were the challenges with that?
Well, the challenge was it rings in your ear. If I had people in my house and I wanted to hand off my phone, I have to change the setting, and it just went on with doing that all the time. And then I found that I never use the other settings anyway. If I'm in a restaurant and there's noise or this, that, the other, I never find the other buttons really helpful. So I did, and they work anyway, but I don't use any of that. I just the hearing aid. That's it. So I don't use the electronic. Just for me, I know other people do, but for me,
Yeah. Well, and I know that, let's see, it would have been back in 2000, probably 15 or 16, when my mom got upgraded hearing aids. And that was our first experience with hearing aids that were totally new generation, where you had a button. If you're in a restaurant, you can click it and it will deaden or soften the background noise and allow you to hear people right there in front of you. So are yours newer than 2015, 16-ish?
they probably are about the same time. And like I say, I just don't find that all of that helpful.
Well, my curiosity is about the development of the technology. Because my mom didn't care that much for that feature either. It was a little confusing to her, but she had a lot on her brain at that time. So, Sue Ellen,
I got mine last year
okay.
and they're wonderful. I talk through my phone, I hear through my hearing aid. It's called a speech booster. And that's when you hear people in the restaurant, you hear just your table. And you can also direct which way the hearing aid will come in for you all on your phone.
What do you
It's
mean
all-
direct? What do you mean direct? Which
Because
way?
you can, if you have regular hearing, you hear everything around you.
Right.
Well, you can direct it to just in front of you
From your phone.
from your phone.
Are yours over the counter or prescription?
No, no, they told me that the reason that they were so expensive is because of the chip that's inside of it. So, that's what they tell me.
What was it like a hearing
make
aid
a discussion.
center?
Oh, no, I went to a doctor.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
doctor-
Try it again.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the technology, if we think about it, who's got a brand new iPhone or newer? Who's got a less than a year old iPhone? Nobody. 2 years?
It's-
Carrie, isn't yours 2 years old?
It'll be like January, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a brand new iPhone cost?
I
There's-
never paid for my phone. I like pay rent on it. I like, get a new one and it might be less or more. That's what they offer. And it's like crazy town that when I see they're $1,000 or $3,000,
They're at least that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're at least that. And when you're buying the brand new fill in the blank of whatever, part of what you're paying for is research and design, right? You're paying for that generation actually happening. So, it kind of funds the next generation. The older versions of something, those are volume. You're paying for, volume. People maybe aren't going to buy the $1,200 version of something, and so they're going to buy the $600 version, and many, many more people are going to buy the $600 version. And so, that cycle kind of continues, that it's a volume kind of thing. So when Sue Ellen has these hearing aids that she's really happy with, and they do all kinds of amazing things, part of the fact that it's newer technology than like what I was talking about and what Linda was talking about with a previous generation of the technology. With our phones, with our watches, all of these things, the newer thing you have, there's this lag time of where eventually will drop. I want to remind you that calculators used to cost several $100s. Now you can barely find a calculator because they're all on our phones, right? I mean, you know, your kids or yourself going to college and you had to get that scientific calculator, it was like, what? That's a lot of money, you know, and think about it now, we don't even think about those things. So the development of that technology is really useful for it being better and better and better. So I'm really encouraged by your story, both of Sue Ellen's stories this morning about her hearing aids and about her Fitbit, sorry, her Apple Watch. I had actually, when I was doing the research on the watch wearables, I was thinking, gosh, that is so much more advanced than the other options. The Apple Watch, in terms of its monitoring your body, is so much more advanced, and I'm surprised that I really didn't see anything comparable. The other companies are striving towards, you know, the Garmin, the Samsung, the Google Pixel, all of those are striving towards, but they don't have those very same features. So it seems to me like for the older generation, the Apple Watch is the way to go because it's really going to maybe save your life someday. Sue Ellen, you put your hand up.
Um, Because I was in the study, my Apple Watch cost me $75. I could have gotten it for free, but then I would have had to give it back after 3 years. So I thought, $75 sounds good to me.
I love it. That is awesome. That is awesome. So does anyone else have a story about a wearable that you either have a question, a problem with, or you have just glowing reviews and you wish everybody had one because it's so fantastic? Linda.
One of the things that happens is occasionally I get a message from my watch asking me if I need emergency help. Did I fall? It senses something that's going on. Fortunately, it hasn't been anything like that, but it's available. I can just push a button and the fire department will come out. And I love that.
Which is fantastic. Sue Ellen was saying the same thing, that it has this balance component to it where it knows if you've stumbled. And I love the fact that
Falling and I can't get up.
yeah, and that's replacing another piece of technology, right? So again, going back to my mom, she had one of those, we made her get one of those things that she wore around her neck, and you know, had the big old clunky, you know, look like a VCR or something that, you know, if she pushed that button, it would connect and she could talk to the person in the other room because it's this big clunky thing. And your watch has just taken over for that. That's really amazing technology.
Unfortunately, if you're wearing the watch and you fall and you don't have your glasses on, and it says, should I call the emergency department? You're kind of stuck there like, oh, let me see, my arm's not long enough to see this. So that's a problem.
Linda.
A reality. It wasn't just a if, but I fell, this is years ago because my husband was still around. And we had gotten out of the car. He went upstairs and I got out of the car afterward and I fell and I couldn't get up, but I had my watch on and I was able to call him. And he came downstairs, fortunately. So I actually used it. Yeah.
You used your watch to call your husband.
No, I used my phone.
Oh, okay. You had your phone with you at the time.
Oh, I did that too.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. So let me ask you this. Linda might know better. When your watch has asked you if you needed help, did you have your glasses on?
I don't remember.
Because that's one thing that we can do, you know, is know what that screen looks like I'm sure I can't, I have no idea what that screen looks like. Let me go to the Apple Oracle here.
But
And,
Sue Ellen is right. The print is small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's just see, because it's going to be the same every single time. Hang on, I'm looking at an Apple device.
Can't
not
ask
knowing-
Siri to read it for you?
Will your watch do that?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
That's a great question.
Or
Great question.
get voice translation. It always asks you that on different things. Do you want to?
Lord, I hate this computer.
But the two lost phones,
It's not
Hello?
mine, it's an Apple, and I'm like, how do I get anywhere with this?
Mm.
It's my husband's. I don't want to close the window that he's in. All right, we're just going to close the window he's in
Getting
Um,
off here.
and
Yeah.
ask for Apple
Could you
Watch
mute us?
fall
Oh.
detection. All right. Let's look and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and do this. So much easier if I can talk to it. Apple Watch fall detection. All right, so let's share. So that's, to me, that I figured
Yeah.
it's going to be where it's not going to make it that complicated. So let's look at what the screen looks like. And so I can't see this in terms of read what it actually says, right? I can't see what that says. So I'm imagining this would be like I didn't have my glasses on,
Mhm.
right? But it does look like there's a big red button there. Can you all see the
Yeah, but the bottom says something about,
It
no,
says-
I'm fine. All the way down the bottom, below that,
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Well,
Yeah.
you can't see that.
Right. But they're not going to change the order of it.
No.
You know what I mean? Let's see if we have a bigger picture. Let's go to Apple support, use fall detection. Here we go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you how I can't see it yet. So as I suspected without knowing, it's just kind of intuitive that it's going to make it so that even if you didn't have your glasses on, the big red button is emergency call. And every time the I'm okay is going to be under it, right at the very rim of the watch, right? So I would say that even without your glasses on, if you avoid the red button and go down low, then probably a good chance you can make that notification go away. Also notice up here at the top where, you can see it looks like you've taken a fall, you've got that X, you can just also close that window and it will, go away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think, kind of knowing they're not going to change what that looks like. If your devices, any of our devices, go through an update, then chances are they might switch things around just because, I don't know, the art and design department said, oh, we like it better if it looks like this, rather than staying consistent with things. They're like, well, we have to earn our pay, so we're going to switch things just to switch things, which honestly, it seems like that's when an update happens. They change the look of something and it didn't improve it, it just changed it, So if you do an update on it, then I would check and see if they changed how the look of that is, the layout. But if in the screen, in the upper left-hand corner is an X, all the way down at the bottom, right at the very edge is the I'm okay, you can pretty much avoid that. Call 911. Here's the other thing. If you hit the 911 button by accident and you get somebody on the line, you can say, I'm sorry, I've fallen, I'm fine, my watch, I hit the wrong thing on my watch. They get it all the time, you know? You're not gonna be in trouble, you know, for hitting the wrong thing and calling them by accident. Embarrassing? Yes. So next time you do it, make sure you're in a different town. They don't go, oh, that's that based woman again, playing with her watch, you know? Is anybody else experiencing any problems, questions, or concerns with their devices, their wearable devices? And Sue Ellen, I love that you brought in hearing aids because those are wearable devices. I mean, if it's talking to you, you know, and it's got a chip in there, it is technology and it's one of our wearables. And I love that they're so much better. If they could only change the technology of our seeing and our diminished seeing, they haven't improved that. I mean, you know, surgery, definitely improvement, but there's a point in time where the eye doctor just says, don't bother. You know, it would be really nice if they could figure out sight. Anybody else? Linda, have you had any problems with your watch?
Love my watch. Just really love it. I can't report any problems.
Excellent. Terry.
How about every year, we go through what my kids thinks I should have, and they've been telling for years I should have a watch. And I think it's partly because John too, that the day I stopped working, I decided I wasn't gonna wear a watch. So I was very open to every other technology except that idea of, I still like always go like this when but that's really funny. But I also have known nothing but good stories of their health part of it. So that's
It's tempting.
Can't
isn't
learn
it?
your other stuff if you don't have your health. You can't learn
Yeah.
how to take better
Um,
pictures, but
I agree. I mean, when I was reading on exactly what the Apple Watch offers in terms of the health benefits, I'm like, geez, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. Now, here's the clincher. You can't have an Apple Watch without an iPhone. I did check that out because I have other, you know, for instance, I only listen to Apple Music and I don't have to have an Apple device to listen to Apple Music. But in order to have an Apple Watch, you have to have an Apple phone. The app that goes with the watch is only created for iPhones. So that knocks me out for now. I did look into the Pixel Watch, but it still doesn't have that what Sue Ellen was talking about in terms of monitoring your heart rate. It monitors, like my watch monitors my heart rate. When I put it into exercise mode, when I'm just wearing it in general, see if I can put this on backwards. So that you can read it and not me. You know, it has a health status. All right, what did it do? I think it went into my breathing. Let me go back all the way to the home screen. Okay, so health status screen. It says what my heart rate is. It's got my breathing. It's got a stress level and an activity level. It also monitors sleep levels, but at the very basic level. You know, if I look at flip it back around and go heart, it'll show me like my stats for the week
Put
for
it-
heart, where I exercised, where I put a little more effort into it, where I was an absolute couch potato. It does the same thing with the last 4 hours. It will go into so this is activity. This is my temperature. It'll tell me what my temperature was. Now I'm like, ooh, I was pretty cold right there. No, I don't wear it to sleep. It will monitor my sleep as well. This is there's stress level, respiration, but I really only use it for exercising for all of that stuff because it's really not monitoring my health in terms of if I were to have, you know, a heart incident. I don't think it's going to tell me that, other than the fact that I look at it and it tells me, oh, it's kind of high. It's, you know, it's not going to specifically save my life like Sue Ellen's did.
Hmm.
So,
How
you know,
about charging?
charging.
Charging, like, you have, I mean, I always try to remember to charge my phone and then, but do you have a pattern that you just?
Yes, I have a charge. I charge my phone when I sit down to watch television. And or my nighttime, and then I put it back on when I go to sleep.
And the hearing aid too. Yeah.
The hearing aids I don't wear at night. I charge those when
Okay.
I'm sleeping.
Okay.
Oh.
Good.
My husband snores. No.
But you and you have, wait, but you have to charge your watch also.
Yeah, I charge my watch before I go to sleep so I can put it on when I'm sleeping. Because I want to see if I have sleep apnea.
No,
It'll
I
tell you that
I
too.
just was curious because some people I know just don't remember to charge their. Some people that I live with.
So
What about
having-
earbuds?
Same.
Earbuds, how do
Mhm.
they work? And
Yeah.
I was thinking of buying them, but I don't know. Is it worth buying them or having them?
I recently purchased earbuds and I think it is. I avoided it for a long time and I'm really happy with mine. Now I bought Google Pixel Buds because my phone is a Google Pixel. So I really think that whatever kind of device you have, it's always going to be smoother if you're buying this complementary devices that go with that device. You have a Samsung phone?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So I would go with Samsung earbuds. Jackie.
Mhm.
It's interesting, this fact. I have earbuds that I use for listening to a novel if I'm doing stuff around the house, etc., and some meditations. But I was with my daughter and we were watching a college football game, and the guys were getting off the bus. They all have the earphones with the cords because they passed a rule for the athletes not to wear earbuds because the risk, they think these young kids that have them in all the time, there's a risk of cancer. And if you see them get off the bus, everybody's got the earphones that are plugged into their phone as opposed to earbuds. And I don't know I haven't looked up the actual thing, but I thought, gosh, these guys make all this money and they're using the old-fashioned earplugs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to, well, with an earbud, it's going to be Bluetooth technology. So there's going to be a Bluetooth chip in there, something that's going to receive the signal versus a wire. So there is extra stuff in there. I will look that up. I mean, I'm not disputing that, you know, that's what they're saying. I I thought you were going to say that young kids play everything too loud.
Well,
And
that
so
too.
by having something that's slightly annoying, they're less likely to have it all the time. And so that would reduce the amount of impact, the audio impact on their ears.
Yes, maybe they want the quarterback to be heard, you know? And these guys that hear blaring music all the time can't hear the plays. I don't know. I didn't
I will
look
look
it up.
into the earbud thing. Somebody at the Joy Center had their hand up. Terry?
I have to say I wouldn't promote them as much if I hadn't had like an airport and plane disaster list. Wasn't a disaster, we were all fine, but long time spending like that because I could be there in the midst of 50 people, but I'd be watching remember to download a couple movies and shows, and I just kept myself completely occupied by using them. And they also charge with the same charger as everything else I have, which
Right.
what for made it so much easier, even if I, you know,
You don't,
and,
you don't need them when you have hearing aids. You just sync them to your phone. You can do anything.
That's-
Yeah,
I
So you
love
can
that.
listen-
Jackie, you had your hand up?
And you can also find your AirPods when you lose them because you've got Find My Phone. You know, you can find your luggage if you have one of those smart tags in it as well.
Yeah.
I love that Find My Phone.
Me too. Me too. And that was
put
why
one in my-
I started
Oh,
this
never
whole
mind.
conversation, but talking about wearables is that's one of my favorite features is, you know, I'm in the house. Is my phone in the car still, or did I set it down somewhere weird in the house? And I'm so stinking lazy. I just go right here and tap this and it starts blaring the phone, you know, wherever it may be. So if I
Can
can't
you
hear it
see-
going off, then it's in the car.
Can you see this, Betsy,
Yes.
or everybody? These earphones, I got to my son's house in Atlanta and I said something about, it seemed like something wasn't working right or something like that. So I was gonna show them to my son and they were not in my bag. And he goes, go to on your phone, and it said they were outside of a woman's room in Terminal A at Atlanta at the airport. And then it led me to the lost and found, because they said most people call the airline, but go to us first if it's after a few hours. And if I could tell you, she said to me, don't rush here, but on your way back in, stop by. And because I said, I had the, I think there was 1,000, if not more, earbuds in this box. It was like a file cap box.
Hey, Andy, I know where you can get some earbuds cheap.
But I had to pull them or, press the button on my phone and out of that box, but there were not that many with a case and a thing. So
So mark your
worth
case.
every
Yeah.
penny of having these on everything, but on your earbuds.
Okay, we're going to talk about Find My Phone next, but we're going to circle back and talk about the football players. So, according to AI, yes, wireless earbuds give off a very low level of non-ionizing radiation, specifically radio frequency energy. So you do know that we walk around surrounded by radio energy, right? That's how radio energy gets to where it's going. We are literally walking through a soup of radio energy. It says health authorities, including the FDA and the CDC, and the National Cancer Institute, state there is no conclusive evidence linking this low-level radiation to cancer or any other health risks in humans. So I'm going to go with somebody said at the college, and then they said, well, and they won't have them in all the time. And we can actually talk to these teenagers, because they're 18 years old, 19 years old, right? It says key points, types of radiation. Wireless earbuds emit a non-ionizing radiation, which is low energy. Unlike high energy ionizing, which is gamma rays or X-rays, it does not have enough energy to damage DNA, or cells or cause cancer. Power levels. The power level output of Bluetooth devices is very low, typically under 1 milliwatt, and significantly lower than that of cell phones. Safety standards. Devices are required to comply with the FCC safety standards. Earbuds operate well within these limits. Expert consensus. The general consensus is that based on current evidence, low levels of RFR exposure from earbuds are safe and normal for use. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is a branch of the World Health Organization, classifies radio frequency fields as possible carcinogenic to humans, a category indicating that there is limited evidence, and research is ongoing, but the classification is based on more general RFR exposure and not specifically earbuds. So it says, if you're particularly concerned, so I would say like I don't know, if you've had brain cancer and you're a survivor, then maybe wear the ones with the cords, right? I mean, people are higher risk, shouldn't do certain things. Limited, prolonged continuous use, taking breaks, using your phone speakerphone for calls. So I think it's a difference, you know, if you're using it solely to take calls or if you're using it because you're listening to something and you don't want to bother someone else, or it's you don't want to carry your phone around in your pocket while you're listening to a book. You've got your earbuds in and your phone can be over there on the counter and you're doing things around the house. It's, you know, going to be within that range. So I'm going to say that it sounds like at this point in time, if you're not wearing them 24/7, you're pretty darn safe about it. I love that the football team couldn't wear it, but I'm guessing it might be for other reasons too. The other thing that I want to comment on those is that I am always concerned when I see people with them in, and they may be on or may not be on, and they are not aware of their surroundings. That's my biggest concern, particularly when I see young women with them in, and they are walking through a busy area, or they are alone running or whatever. You know, when I watch crime shows and there she is going off for her 4 a.m. run and she's got her earbuds in and she doesn't know the stalker's behind her, you know?
Yeah.
Just having 360 awareness, I think, is important. You know, and so around the house, listening to a novel, listening to music, doing those kinds of things, very, very valuable. Out and about where you have an opportunity to interact with other folks, maybe not such a good thing. In the airport where you're trying to drown out all of the other noise, helpful. But, you know, knowing when and where is good for you is something that you want to consider when you're doing that. But that's a great question, Andy. I have Pixel earbuds. They charge while they're in the case, and so I can actually have them in my ears and be charging my case. I plugged my case in, and the case is the charger. And so then when I take them out of my ears and put them back in the case, the earbuds are charging. I can go to my phone and look and see, are they what battery percentage are they, just by looking at the earbuds under my Bluetooth setting in my phone. I think the other thing is when using Bluetooth and I'm trying to take a call and I'm going from point A to point B to point C, and a call is happening and I can't hear it, it's because it went to my earbuds because I had my earbuds in last and not going to my phone, not going to my phone, not going to my car, but now I'm in my car and I'm trying to hear a call that I was on because I was in the library. You know, the Bluetooth, you kind of have to, I have found, I have to tell it where I want it to pick up. Oftentimes, I will have had my earbuds in, put them back in my purse. I can't hear this phone call from anything. And I'm like, oh, right, I had my earbuds in. And so it's probably talking to my earbuds, you know? And so for me, the easiest way to remedy that, there are two ways. If I can switch if I'm in the middle of a call. So let me just do this. Hello, let's call. All right. Whoop, wrong one. Terry Tano, there she is. All right, so I'm calling Terry. So I've got this little source button of where is the sound coming from and to. Right now, it's on speaker. I can switch it and I can go off of speaker. I can go, if I'm in my car, it will show it's not speaker. And I'm going to hang this up so it'll stop being so annoying. It can go to, it'll say my car's name, or it can go to my earbuds. So it rotates through which options. Do I want it going to the phone where I'm doing this? Do I'm going to speaker where I'm doing this? Earbuds or car? I'm sure if I had another device If my watch did the same thing, then that would be another. If I had hearing aids, that would be another. So I could literally have 5 different choices of how I'm going to hear what's happening through my phone because of Bluetooth technology. So that has been just slightly annoying because I've forgotten that I had earbuds in. All right, let's go to real quick. So, Amy, on my watch, and I can only talk about mine, but it's going to be similar.
But
Technology.
not to interrupt, but I don't have a watch, so how would
Yeah.
I?
Well,
do
that's what I'm going to show you. So right
Okay.
here,
Oh, I see. Okay.
this
Gotcha.
is a picture of a old-fashioned hand phone, which is funny.
Okay.
And there's a question mark next to it, right? So if I don't know where my phone is, I tap that button. This one's really hard backwards.
You're saying I have that on my phone?
It's on my watch. Just
But-
hang on. We're gonna do step by step, right? I'm not just jumping in. We're gonna do step by step. When I hit that, this happens on my watch. This happens on my phone. It's also making a very, very annoying noise that's not like any of my rings. So even though my ringer is off on my phone, it's making noise. So
But because I don't have a watch, is this gonna?
So the other option is with
Okay.
a Samsung, you have to find someone else to connect up with. So find my phone Samsung. In other words, Smart Things Find. So,
Do I have to put an app on my phone?
well, we're gonna show you.
Sorry, I'm very
You are.
anxious.
Slow down, step by step. If I talk too
Had too
fast, you won't hear it.
Too much coffee, sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I haven't looked this up for Samsung. I know with my phone and I know with Apple phones, we're gonna look for Samsung. But my experience has been that when you lose something and you don't have a wearable that's gonna just do what I did, which is super simple, then what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to have to find somebody else's device. So I have to go to a stranger if I'm out in public and not with a friend or family member. If I'm with a friend or family member, I'm going to have to use their phone. I have had people come into our store and say, can we use your computer because they didn't have this? So you're going to have to use somebody else's something to find it, right?
Okay, and
You're-
can I interrupt and tell, neighbor lady came over, she lost her phone, her daughter went on her iPad and did find my phone, so I think that's point in case, correct?
Yeah, did she
Okay.
have an iPhone?
I believe she did, I can't remember. If she did or didn't, still you can't go on an iPad and
You
utilize that?
can. Well, yeah, you can just go on the
Mhm.
internet,
Okay,
right? I mean, an iPad is a vehicle to get on the internet. So we're going to go, Linda,
Just have somebody ring your telephone?
you can do that, but not if it's 6 stores down.
yeah, she had
No.
left it at a veterans, it was a real good point in case, she left it at, it actually, it was found in a car where she was going to a veterans event, but I thought it was real interesting. The daughter used Find My Phone, but had to get on the iPad, and I was like, wow, I'm trying to understand all this, so thank
Okay,
you.
so she had to get on a vehicle that would take her into the internet. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what she got on. She could have got on somebody's
Okay.
smartphone. She could have
Sure.
gone on a computer. She could have gone
Sure.
on my Pixel tablet. The fact that it was an iPad doesn't matter, really.
Okay, but how did that find her phone in this car? What, I mean, don't you
because
have to have,
because our phones always have where we are.
okay, even though she
They
didn't
always
have the
have-
app on her phone, she didn't have no app or anything.
That's fine, but you still, if you turn on your phone and type in directions to go somewhere, how does it do that?
Gotcha.
It knows where you are, right? It
Okay.
knows your starting point. So our phones have a built-in technology of we're at this point. And so, the Linda had said, rightly so, a simple answer would be call the damn phone. But what if you're
The phone
hiking
was, yeah,
and
the
you're in the
phone was
middle of
dead.
the woods?
In her case, the phone was dead, long
Okay.
dead.
But you're
But
hiking
but
in the
they,
middle of the woods. You drop
yeah,
the
but they
phone
still
out of
found
your
it. Yeah.
purse, your pocket, your backpack. It's laying in the woods. Calling the phone isn't going to do a darn thing.
Right.
'Cause the bears aren't going to answer it. Your phone can be dead. It's still going to have some residual
Signal.
battery for the signal for where it is.
Okay.
Dead, I mean, weeks dead? No, probably not. You know, like
Yeah.
if you go out in the woods and you find a phone and it's been there for a month, probably not going to be any signal left on that at all. But let's go look at this for just a second. So this is what I did was I just did a basic search for Samsung Find My Phone. Okay.
Okay.
And so this says, lost something, find your Galaxy phone, your tablet, your watch, and other devices with Smart Things Find. So this is a specific app that you can find your Galaxy whatevers. All of these things here, if you've lost them, and you can see it's a website, you know, it's an app on a phone, it's a website where it's going to locate, even if they're offline, because they don't have to be connected to a network. So that's one option. And this is Samsung's version of that. So if you have a Samsung phone, my suggestion would be to find something that is specifically Samsung related. So find my phone. Okay. And
Mhm.
we have Find My Phone, iPhone, Apple, Gmail, Android, Google. We're going to do Find My Phone, Samsung.
Okay.
Okay, so Google, which your phone already is programmed and operating on the Google operating system, it says Google's Find My Device is the other option, or Samsung's Smart Things Find. So Smart Things Find, which is kind of a silly name for it. It seems like it's backwards, but
Yeah.
Smart Things Find. How about Find Smart Things? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no kidding.
But anyway, so according to this, the Google's Find My Device, what you would do is go on a web browser. Now, you can go on a web browser on a phone, right? I can go to Chrome on my phone and I can sign in to the link, the Google account linked to that phone. And on the map, you can see the phone's location. You can also choose to play a sound. You can secure the device. Now, this is really important. If, you know, similar situation where it said that it was in a car going somewhere.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with someone who had lost their phone at Pennicamp. Within 10 minutes, it was already, you know, on US 1 heading up to Homestead. And a little, as we were tracking it, waiting for the police to come, by that point, it was at somebody's house in Florida City. So somebody took the phone, you know, but they were able to track it specifically and go right to that house and get it. So you want to be able to log into your Google account without your phone, right? Because
Yeah.
if you've lost your phone and you're using the Google account to find your phone,
Right.
you've got to know how to get into your Google account. So remember that one password you need to remember? Whether it's your Apple password or your Google password, you need to remember one of them. One
Yeah.
of them.
Very
All right.
interesting.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, it's very useful. Terry, real quick, because I got to tap on VPNs before
I
we
left-
leave.
I left my phone once at a table at the garden club day of, you know, the beautiful event. And when I realized they didn't have it, I went on John's phone to find my phone. And it not only told me like where that, you know, was at the garden club, but it like had a little map of the garden club that day. Like,
Yeah.
and it was on the table. And as soon as I heard where it was, I said, oh, that's where I was buying something, because I was talking, like, my phone down. But that was amazing to me because
Yeah.
you know.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about VPNs really quickly because we will be off next week. Maybe some of you will be traveling. We have touched on this topic before. We're going to touch on it again because we'll be off and some of you may be traveling. And maybe using a VPN is the thing that's going to keep you the safest. If you're staying in your house and you're not going anywhere, using a VPN, not that important. If you're somewhere else and you need to conduct some business, you need to do something with your credit card account, you need to go into your bank account and you're in public using Wi-Fi, a VPN is the way to go. So VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Literally speaking, when you let's just take Starbucks. Starbucks has open Wi-Fi, right? You go into Starbucks, you meet a friend, you're having a nice beverage, and you are using their Wi-Fi. Hey, let me show you the pictures of my grandkids, blah, blah, blah. You open up your phone, you show them some pictures. In a public Wi-Fi setting, in theory, and we know that the people who like to steal things digitally now are very, very good at what they do. They do way more complicated things than this, but just sitting in a Starbucks, people can literally tap into what you're doing and see what you're doing. You are using public Wi-Fi. How are you using the Wi-Fi? You're not connected by a wire to their modem, right? You're not connected to their device. You're using it over the airwaves, which are available to everyone, right? Most of the time when you go to places like that, you don't even need a password. It doesn't matter. Everybody has the same password, so everybody's still logging into the same thing. Using a virtual private network, what it does, even though you're using Wi-Fi in Starbucks, we'll use our example, you're using the Wi-Fi there, but you are going to go from your phone to their Wi-Fi network, right? And then from that Wi-Fi network, you are going to go behind a wall. You are going to hide yourself so that nobody can see what's actually happening, because it's like you're if you're in a busy subway station and you hop on a train that is just your train and nobody else is on that train, so you have total anonymity. Nobody else can see what's happening, where you are. It's like you have an invisible cloak on, and that protects you from all of the other people who might want to see what you're doing, and you want to keep yourself private. There are many, many opportunities to use a virtual private network. So I'm going to hop on here real quick because we're running out of time. And I'm going to share this. This is just a very basic explanation, and I'm not going to send this all to you because you can literally Google it yourself. It describes it as an encrypted tunnel. So that invisible cloak that you're putting on, while there may be other people using that same VPN and maybe using that same location for a VPN, it puts an encryption on everything that you do so that literally no one can see it. Any of your internet traffic is protected. It's not being seen by the internet service provider, hackers, or any third parties. It hides your real address and replaces it with a different address that makes it difficult for anyone where you're going to track what you're doing. It bypasses restrictions on geographic location. So let's say a good example of this, and let's see if they have. Okay, so there are some specific ones that they talk about here. Free VPN for Chrome. There is a VPN by Proton. Nord has a VPN. I have heard that Nord is very, very good. There are all kinds of options on how to choose one and what kind of limitations there are. Other ones that I have used, I haven't used Nord. I personally use, let's see, Private Internet Access. And so Private Internet Access, I put the app on my phone And so right now it says I'm not connected. There's the button. If I want to connect to the VPN, all I have to do is hit that button and I am now connected. And anything that I do on my phone can't be seen by anyone else because I'm on an encrypted network. This is protecting where I go on the internet. Right now, it is routing me through Las Vegas. I can pick a whole bunch of places. I can pick literally anywhere in the world that they service. And it would appear, if someone were tracking me, it would appear that I were in another country. Because obviously I'm not in Las Vegas right now, right? So what happens is, so that's on. We saw me turn it on. Now I'm going to go to Chrome and I'm going to search Chrome and I'm going to say, let's see, It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, it came up right away. That's hilarious. So I just did a Google search. So I'm on Google, but in the background, what's running, if I open so you can see my pages, my VPN is running where I go on the internet. Okay, so I've turned it on, it's on, but it doesn't affect anything about where I'm going on Google and looking, because everything that I say my phone to do is channeling it through the private internet access VPN so that I can look at this. So let's say that I want to watch this movie and I see, where to watch, and it shows me all of the options. I can watch it in all kinds of places. Interestingly, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are some movies, let's see, trying to think. I looked up one recently where it says where to watch, and it said this movie is not available in the United States at this time.
Huh.
So if I logged in with my VPN to another country where that movie were available, I can watch the movie sitting here in North Carolina because it's available in France. And I can literally make it seem as though my phone is in France and I can watch that movie. So that's just another extra added bonus to how a VPN works. But the real beauty of VPNs, and we're 2 minutes past, so we got to go. The real beauty of this is the fact that it is protecting you because everything you're doing on your phone is encrypted. Jackie.
You buy this app before you travel.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I use it every, when I'm somewhere. I mean, I don't like being restricted to like, oh, right, I got to pay my credit card bill, or, oh, I just got a ding on my watch that said that I made a purchase with this credit card and I did not. I don't want to go to my banking app when I'm in public because it does set me up for vulnerability. So I can turn on the VPN while I'm standing there in Franklin and look at my banking app with confidence that no one else can see what I'm doing in my banking app.
Right.
And they do cost, correct? VPN?
There are some free ones. And I know that Brave is free. Excuse me. I know some of the paid ones have a free option. You're always going to get what you pay for. It's nominal. I want to say I don't remember how much I'm paying, but I want to say it's less than $50 a year for the one that I got. So if my stuff got stolen, is it worth it's like an insurance policy that actually does pay. We buy insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, house insurance, and getting money out of those dudes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Is ridiculous. But this one does pay, AKA for $50, I'm safe.
Yeah.
All the time,
Great class.
Everybody have
Okay.
a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy
Jackie,
Thanksgiving.
so good to see you again.
Thank you.
Miss you.
Thank you.
Have a great week, y'all. We will see you
Bye.
first week in December.
Yes.